to the Recruit podcast powered by Work. We specialize in helping recruitment firms scale their revenue over the next 12 months using bespoke systems. If you want to learn how to take your recruitment business to the next level, make sure to stick around for this conversation. Today, we have Raj Bharti from Sphere. And Raj, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, Karan. Thank you for having me here. Hello, folks. My name is Raj Bharti. I'm located in Seattle, Washington, and I'm a managing partner at Svarian Staffing and Recruiting. We are the leading staffing firm in the Pacific Northwest, and we are a part of larger firm called Randstad. And Svarian has 200 locations in the country, and the business been here for 80 years, and I manage the Pacific Northwest in Seattle neighborhood.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So I guess just diving straight into it, you already mentioned there a little bit, but can you give me a more a quick overview of your role and how that fits into the bigger picture at Sphere in your location?
Sure. Sparian's been in business for 80 years, and we are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've been managing this business for past 2 years. And with 200 locations in the country, I'm leading here in the Pacific Northwest, anything west of Cascades. For your UK audience, state of Washington is divided by Cascade Mountains, and we call it Eastern Washington and Western Washington. So I manage the Western Washington, and with the larger clients here into the aerospace, manufacturing, and logistics type of area without naming any clients.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
And I suppose now, as you said you're managing. So what does a typical day actually look like for you?
The typical day, the recruitment business, if you see, it's two sides, demand side and supply side. Demand is in the client management. Hey, what are the client's needs? What are clients looking for? And the talent that's working, there might be some issues with the talent, and what are clients' expansion or contraction plans? Because we do two types of placements primarily. One is the direct hire, which is the hiring directly employees on the retained basis or permanent basis, and also to support our clients, the temporary workforce as they're going through up level their workforce or contracting for the seasonality of it, and managing the client relationship, managing everything that's working with the client side. And on the other side is the supply side, working with their talent, with their candidates who can become our employees, and finding them the right jobs in the Pacific Northwest. And then you have the internal operations. So as a business leader, you're a juggler. You are not a master of anything, but you're a jack of all trades.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how have you sort of found navigating all those different roles in a day where from the morning to the afternoon, you might have to work on completely different. What have you done that's helped you to navigate those different roles?
Yeah, the way I start my day is basically seeing like, hey, what do I want to accomplish at the end of the day? Because there is so much noise and signal. One thing is what you, as an entrepreneur, you don't want to get distracted by the noise where the signal goes to waste. I know it's a lot of kind of scientific term, but there's a lot of distraction. So you want to come to the office and say, these are the three things I want to get done by the end of the day. Then obviously, like as you open your emails, there are lot of requests and all that. So you want to prioritize. And I constantly have it. Okay, you know what? Do I need to do it today, or can it be pushed to by a couple of days or so? And I think it's a juggling act of prioritizing and reprioritizing your work and focusing on the things that matter today. And sometime I actually go back to the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, there's a 2 by 2 matrix that Stephen Covey gave. And what it has, it says the urgency, and it has the importance. So what you want to do, you want to focus on the fourth quadrant at the top, where things that are important and urgent, you want to focus on those the most. But if your phone is ringing, it's urgent, but it may not be important. Maybe your phone, like a cell phone, is coming with all the notifications. They want your attention. It feels urgent, but it's garbage. And so you want to protect yourself, especially in this digital age. You want to safeguard and protect yourself from all the noise so you can keep working on the signals.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great insight. And you mentioned that point there, the digital age. What are you doing, and what's your view on sort of social media within recruitment companies, and how that can be potentially beneficial?
Social is playing a great role in this new age. AI and social, those two trends, they are helping the recruitment world. And they are also distracting. Just like any tool, it's a double edged sword. It can be helpful, it can be hurtful. And how you can decide to use it, it can work in your favor or it can work against you. And on the social side, there's a lot of noise, like some of the jobs are overly glamorized. And hey, you are here working why don't you move to Bali and make your six-figure income and stay on the pool all day? Yes, that reality does exist, but for a tiny population. It's not applicable to millions of us. Many of us, we still have to go through our daily grind to have a stable job, to have a stable career, so we can one day build our dream and retire from work. Or like I think the social has that aspect into it, where remote work is that made so like popular that hey, everybody should be working remotely, but in the end it's not sustainable. A remote work can work in the short time, like a COVID type of circumstance. It was very helpful. Workers were happily employed. Employers didn't lose any talent, and helped us to go through those tough 2 years. But can it continue for next 20 years? The answer is absolutely no. And so that I think social helps in many ways to connect people, but it also hurts when it sets up the wrong expectation for the talent, that and convincing them that something is sustainable while it's not.
Absolutely, I think that's a great point, and I assume with so many young people, especially on social media, is that something you've seen in generally in the younger demographic, where they're a bit swayed by the social narrative?
All the time. Many of our people, they are looking for remote work. Okay, do you have the remote work available? I don't want to work, or they want hybrid work. I think hybrid is more sustainable than the remote work. And I interviewed someone for a recruiter job. This person had 8 jobs in a 4 years of career, and so that's not a career sustainability, because what happens, you work on a job, you lose it, then you spend so much time in advertising, interviewing, and again, but what I call kind of sales cycle. Basically, as a candidate, you're selling yourself, and that brings a lot of anxiety. It brings a lot of unpredictability in your income, because now you have income, maybe after a few months you don't. And I think people need to see it in a serious way, what's sustainable and what's not. And I'll tell you why remote work, 100% remote work, is not sustainable. Like in Seattle, my minimum wage here is at $21 and a change. Say, let's say $21 an hour. If an employer has to pay you the minimum wage and they say, okay, work remotely,
Mm.
and you can work remotely for some time, but after that, employer knows that if this job can be 100% remote, why don't I hire a worker in Philippines or India at fraction of the cost, which is 20%? So I can hire the same worker for $4 an hour and have the same work performed 24/7. So for one Seattle worker, you can hire 5 remote workers. If your job can be done 100% remotely, you are actually setting up yourself for a failure where one day you'll lose your job. That's the reality on the ground. Yes, if you are a worker here and you need to go somewhere and your employer says, go ahead, do your work from London for a month, no problem. That's understandable, because the worker has to come back and the employer sees that need. It's more of a stopgap solution. But I would say by doing the 100% remote work, you're setting up for yourself failure, because the job market will set the price for you. That's somewhere else, because the world at the end of the day is flat. somebody is there to replace you at a much cheaper price.
Absolutely, that's a fantastic point. I think, and something you mentioned before regarding AI, and I think that links to this as well. The sort of noise coming out around AI, it's a lot, and there's obviously good, there's the bad. It's still early stages if you think about it in terms of where AI is at. How has AI specifically changed the way you're thinking about growth at your company right now?
I would say AI is just a tool. At my heart, I'm a technologist. 30 years ago, I started my career as a developer or programmer, moved into project management, then marketing, channel development, and to an entrepreneur with Amazon, into the logistics business, and now managing a staffing firm. So as I kind of went through it, it's just a tool set. I know AI, people are thinking AI is going to do everything. No, AI is not going to do everything. Whatever you are doing, AI is going to accelerate that pace of that work. Whether it's good, it's going to make it better. It's going to make it bigger and better. If it's bad, it's going to make it worse. So I would say people need to kind of think AI is my assistant. Don't let it be master. And AI is definitely helping our industry. We actively use AI for screening candidates or presenting candidates or researching, and it's definitely helping us. It's but taking that human piece out, that's not possible. If humans will be needed, and AI, I would say everyone should use AI the way we use computers, the way we used phones, and that there's an adoption curve to it. And if you are not using AI, you will be replaced too, because it's not an optional choice, it's a mandatory choice. It's going to be part of the society. So if you can get on this bandwagon early on, better for you. But at the same time, uh, on the other extreme, people are just thinking AI is going to do everything and the humans will be useless. That's not an option for us either. Humans will be around, because after all, this is our planet.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's interesting. I think that that's spot on, and my personal view is the companies that win over the next 5-10 years are going to be the companies that are able to mash the human and AI together and find that right balance. Find that right balance, because I was talking to a founder recently, and he knows a company quite well personally that they use AI completely, 100% in recruitment, and it turns out that they're turning away perfectly good candidates because the AI doesn't fully understand the depths of their niche, and is turning away perfectly good candidates, and that's just one example of where you need that balance of human and AI.
Absolutely. There is something called gut feeling, and it's hard to replace gut feeling. Uh, we use AI, we use ATS systems, and based on the resume, it'll create the score for the candidate. And sometimes the candidates have really low score, and AI will say, this candidate is not a fit. But when you talk to them, you know that they have so many transferable skills that can be transferred to the industry and the positions that you're filling up, and then that you can judge, which AI or the tool or the computer cannot. I'll give you an example. We go to the job fairs, and I'm filling up tens of roles as instructors, assessors, and proctors for a large aerospace company here in Everett, Washington. And if I give that task to AI is going to look for those instructors, people who have teaching experience, or people who have trained in a corporate world, and they're going to reject many of them. But the good news is we have a lot of project managers. We have engineers from former Amazonians, Microsofties, and we have many veterans who have served the military, and people who come from aerospace backgrounds, and they have the leadership skills. They can go talking to 20 to 50 people is not a problem for them. And but their resume doesn't say that they are trainers. Their resume don't say that they are instructors. Like if you read my resume, it doesn't say I'm a trainer, but I've done training in my life. If I have to teach 50 people, I can go, but AI is going to reject me. But if another human is looking at my skill set, they can say, Raj, Bharti can be a good fit for this position. I'm going to present to the client and see if it sticks. And we have done exactly the same thing outside of AI. And 50% of our workforce at that client site is non-instructors, non-trainers who are training successfully. And they are these specialists who bring so many decades of experience, and they're very successful.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, that makes complete sense, and it's a great point what you mentioned. I suppose now if we look at the current state of and your firm and the market as a wider whole, if we start with what's generally do you think working well for you right now over the say past 12 months, what's really working for you?
I would say well, just like any industry, we all go through cycles of up and down. And I'm working here in a tech city. Seattle is a big tech hub. It's not San Francisco, but it's a very respectable tech hub with the Amazon, Microsoft, Expedia, Starbucks, Boeing type of companies headquartered here. And we attract a lot of tech talent. But unfortunately, tech is going through contraction at this time. So what you need to do, you need to pivot. Hey, what's growing at a time, because we are into a service sector, and if tech is contracting, what's working for us is a more of a manufacturing. We What's working for us is aerospace. We are a jet city. Traditionally, if you go 50 years back, Seattle was called Jet City before it became a tech city, because Boeing is headquartered here. And with that type of large client, what happens? It attracts the whole ecosystem, and it creates this beehive effect. Beehive effect is once you start something, the beehive starts building, and there are around 200 partners all around us into the aerospace sector, and we can focus on those. And similarly to tech, there are probably over 1,000 companies all around us that are into tech, not just the Microsofts or Amazons of the world, because all of those VPs who left, they launched their own startups, and it creates the whole ecosystem. And I would say, as the time changes, you change your market strategy, you change your target and focus on one or the other. And for the first time in the history, Boeing is manufacturing their 737s up in Everett, the narrow body in Everett. They always manufactured that in Renton, which is south of Seattle, and because there's a lot of demand for the airplanes. So if one industry shrinks, other one is expanding, you got to pivot your market strategy, and that's exactly what we are doing at the moment.
Wow, that's a great point, and I suppose as you've pivoted, that's obviously a strategic decision,
Mhm.
and I assume potentially there's competitors that may do the same, right? So how and there's potentially companies that are already in these industries that are potentially well established.
Yeah.
So how do you sort of deal with that landscape and managing competition and making sure you're still winning those deals?
One thing, my life rule is competition will always be there. If you are competing with yourself, that's the best thing you can do, rather than competing with others. So when you make this type of pivot or change your focus, you need to see, hey, what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats are. And as you kind of are growing, competing with yourself, making yourself better, and giving people the quality service that's 100% compliant and that's market competitive, I think the chances of success are there. And any pivot in the industry is not easy. It takes time, effort, and money, and it needs a lot of patience and perseverance. So competition is part of the reality, like you can't take it away. So I have learned to live with it, and I'm not afraid of it.
No, amazing. I think that's a great mindset to have because as long as you have that mindset, it doesn't matter who's in front of you, right? You're
Yeah.
focused on what you need
Compete
to
with
do.
yourself. If I have to say it in the three words, compete with yourself.
Absolutely amazing. And I guess now looking a little bit ahead, first we'll start with your business and then the wider market. But in the sort of next 6 to 12 months, we're looking at what are potentially some goals for your company, and where I guess where do you want to be in next 12
Yeah,
to
our
12
goal is to acquire new clients so we can diversify our business. And our goal is to double our business by the end of the year. And for that, we are focusing on aerospace, tech, finance, and accounting. Those are the supporting sector. And so we can grow our business into the professional domain here. At the same time, we also recognize that there's a big push on the manufacturing side from our administration, and that those sectors are growing, and we are here to serve those clients as well. So we can have a balanced portfolio of our clients, and that's sustainable.
Mm, absolutely, absolutely, and you mentioned the great goal of doubling your business over by the end of the year. I suppose a hypothetical question: if you had a magic wand, right? So you could wave it, you fix one thing in business that you think it would lead you to that goal. What would that be?
Magic wand, that'll be the new client acquisition because we are in a B2B business, and a B2B business client acquisition is a little bit harder than B2C. And that's number one. That applies to across product and services. And we are a service company, and service company client acquisition is harder than product acquisition. So those are the realities on the ground. Being a B2B service company, it takes some time for the client acquisition, number one. And the business scaling in service is much slower than product scaling. You can build an iPhone in your garage and sell it the way you sell your first one online, and everyone likes it, and you can have order for $1 million in a year. That's doable. And but in service business, it doesn't happen. Doesn't matter even if you're McKinsey or Deloitte of the world, you cannot scale and grow the business at a much faster speed as compared to product. So product and service, they are totally different animals.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great point, and it sounds like an incredible journey for you so far. I suppose now if we look a little bit industry wide, in your opinion, what does the recruitment firm of 2030 look like that's doing well and thriving?
I think the recruitment firm of 2030 looks like a balanced firm that has a human touch and uses technology wisely to build and grow the business. I know there's a lot of effort on telling people that the humans are not needed, and but I strongly believe that humans will be needed in this business even in 2030. So 4 years from now, yes, we'll use a lot of technology that's going to accelerate the pace of recruitment and I would say pace of placement. Uh, but humans will be needed. The percentage will go down, speed will go up, and with the AI adoption, we can do bigger business faster. And as long as we use that AI as a tool, as an assistant, and grow the business, and companies that are working in a hybrid approach and do the business ethically, that's compliant, and they'll grow and they'll thrive.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Raj, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you, having you on. Hopefully, you've had a good conversation. I know I've really enjoyed your insights. But thank you so much for your time and coming on today. I know you're super busy, but I really appreciate that.
Of course, Karan, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for reaching out.